got bailed out. The banks got bailed out. The banks got bailed out. The banks got bailed out. Whoa! Involved because today's march has to not be the end of it. One march isn't going to defeat this. It has to be the beginning of building a movement of people who refuse to pay. Because the government, I believe, have made a fundamental mistake in this. In bringing in this household tax, after 5 years of austerity, they have finally given people the chance to refuse to pay, the choice to refuse to pay. They have given us the ability to turn this into a referendum on their cuts, on their austerity and on their bank bailouts. And that's what we intend to do, by building mass non-registration and mass non-payment, to finally draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough, no way, we won't pay. And in my opinion, what we need to do now is everybody from here go back into their communities, go back into their workplaces, and to convince other people to not pay. We already have at this stage the advantage of the government. Only 6 or 7% of people have actually paid the household tax, and they have only a couple of weeks left, 5 weeks left to their deadline of March the 31st. So the advantage is on our side, but we can't get complacent, because we know that in the next couple of weeks the government is going to come out with all sorts of lies and threats to try to intimidate people to pay. And we have to be there in the workplaces, in the communities, talking to our friends and family, to be a pole of support, a backbone to keep people rock solid behind non-payment. Because I believe that's the only way that we can defeat this. Some people say pay under protest, but ultimately I believe that if you pay under protest, the government will accept your protest, but they'll also accept your pay. What gives us the ability to do this is to make the tax uncollectible. If we have 600, 800,000 or 1 million people refusing to pay this tax, then the tax becomes unworkable. They want us to do the work for them. They want us to build their register. Cutbacks they want us to build a register for them, because they can't simply bill us for this tax. They require having a legally binding register to bill us for this. And therefore they want us to make that register for them, to build that register, legally binding register of households, so that they can bill us not just for the household tax this year, but for the property tax next year, the water tax the year after, and God knows what after that. Because if they get the €100, it will rise to 1,000. So this is our chance to draw a line in the sand and to refuse to register. And the final thing that I'd say is that they are wielding out threats, because all their arguments have failed. People know this isn't about local services, this is about a bank bailout. People know this isn't only €2 a week, it's about getting thousands of euros a year. Their arguments have failed to convince people, so instead they've wielded out threats. They've threatened to bring people to the district courts if they refuse to register. And that they will bring people in front of the district court to force them to register and threaten them with fines. What we have to say from here is that if they do stoop to that low, that new low for this government, to take ordinary people engaged in nothing more than civil disobedience, than defying an unjust law, as Martin Luther King said, when injustice is law, resistance is duty. If they do take people to court and threaten them with fines for engaging in a form of peaceful protest that has won before, beaten water taxes, beaten toll taxes, if they do, then we won't let that go uncontested. We will make sure that those court scenes become scenes for mass protest, that this won't be the last time that we're outside the district court, that everybody here, if anybody here was brought to court, that everybody here would come out, that everybody here would bring 2, 3, 5, 10 friends to show that they're not going in alone. Because we will not be divided. If we remain united in mass non-payment, united in resisting this, then there's nothing to do. Their hope is by threats to divide and rule. But if we stay united, we can defeat this tax, defeat this attempt to make us pay for the bailout of the banks, and draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough. We won't pay for a crisis that is not as our making, and to demand a real change. But okay, I just want to hand over now to the, do you want to? I just want to open up to the open mic section now.
We'll be celebrating 100 years of our rising. My God, what did those men and women give their lives for? Only to hand over what we have now, an out-and-out dictatorship. Nothing to the Kenny, nothing to the banks. Limerick, do your bit, say your bit. Thank you.
Basically, every penny that they raise that goes to local services will see a reduction in a grant from central government. Therefore, every single penny they collect is going to pay off the bank debts. It's going to pay off bondholders who we don't know. On the 31st of March, we're going to pay 3.1 billion promissory note to Anglo-Irish banks. That's equivalent of 20 years that everyone paid the household charge. And that's where the money's going. It's going to pay bankers and speculators and failed property developers who have wrecked this economy and put us all into poverty. I had a motion on the council agenda for this Monday coming forward against the household charge, and I'm going to read it to you. It's a simple, short motion, and it basically said, Limerick City Council is opposed to the imposition of the household tax. This council calls on the government to rethink the €100 charge because it's unfair tax which takes no consideration of a person's income or ability to pay. That motion was submitted properly and correctly, and it was blocked at a secret meeting of party members of Labour and Fine Gael, and they refused to allow it to be put on the agenda for Monday morning. Allegedly they had to get legal advice, so I look forward to seeing what that legal advice is. But rest assured, it'll be going on the following month's motion, and I hope people will come down when that's going to be debated. Thanks very much. Keep up the chat. Basically, every penny that they raise that goes to local services will see a reduction in a grant from central government. Therefore, every single penny they collect is going to pay off the bank debts. It's going to pay off bondholders who we don't know. On the 31st of March, we're going to pay 3.1 billion promissory note to Anglo-Irish banks. That's equivalent of 20 years that everyone paid the household charge. And that's where the money's going. It's going to pay bankers and speculators and failed property developers who have wrecked this economy and put us all into poverty. I had a motion on the council agenda for this Monday coming forward against the household charge, and I'm going to read it to you. It's a simple, short motion, and it basically said, Limerick City Council is opposed to the imposition of the household tax. This council calls on the government to rethink the €100 charge because it's unfair tax which takes no consideration of a person's income or ability to pay. That motion was submitted properly and correctly, and it was blocked at a secret meeting of party members of Labour and Fine Gael, and they refused to allow it to be put on the agenda for Monday morning. Allegedly they had to get legal advice, so I look forward to seeing what that legal advice is. But rest assured, it'll be going on the following month's motion, and I hope people will come down when that's going to be debated. Thanks very much. Keep up the chat.
You're fantastic. Limerick, you're a lady. Don't feed the fat cats. They'll only look for more.
Mine's very short. The household tax is just a farce. Enda Kenny, stick it up your arse.
I'd like to emphasise all the speakers on the open mic are not speaking on behalf of the campaign. Hi, my name is David from the Socialist Party. I just want to very quickly, I won't keep people, just in my view, I think this is a fantastic turnout. I think it really sends a signal to this government that they're going to need a real fight on this issue. And I think the important thing is that people are out not because it's €100, but what it's going to become. And I think we've had 5 years of cuts of austerity, and it's not working. It's making the crisis worse. And I think this is our chance to say stop. The other thing as well, I think this is an opportunity for us to get organised as a first step to build an alternative, to build a demand that policies are run in the interest of ordinary people, and rather than the 1% or the few people at the top, that this government actually stands to represent ordinary people and the concerns of ordinary people, rather than bailing out their bankers and their friends. And so I think we need to stand up and say that we need an economy that's built for people's needs, rather than the profits and benefits of the few. Thanks a million.
Chairman of Kincora Crew Park concerned residents. And I'm calling on all the people in O'Malley Park, Peases Park, Kincora and Crew Park, all over the city, not to pay these taxes. And we also should stop ringing our councillors and stop phoning them up. Because if they don't want back us, then we want back them. Okay? And stop going to the clinic. Don't go to the clinic. Don't give them nothing to do. This government is after cutting them.
To run the city. And though we got a document down from Dublin on these charges and said these help support your local communities, these support your local council. That's a lie, and I want to nail that lie here today. That is a damn lie. I asked the city manager, are you going to put in another column on our bill of estimates for who pay water charges? And he said no. we get absolutely nothing out of this. This is going to pay back, as the previous speaker has said, this goes to pay back the people, the bondholders who have robbed us left, right and centre. The government have finished putting their hand in your pocket from Darlene. Now they expect me as a local representative to pick your pocket. I was never a robber and I'm not going to be a robber for them. Don't care.